This is Jimmy, and he had a rough day with friends today at school, on the bus, and in the play yard at home. So, we're going to talk about the last instance that happened in the play yard at home and try to come to a conclusion and get him to handle his friends a little bit better. So, we'll talk about what happened with Ian. You want to tell me what happened with Ian outside? Go ahead.
I was playing with Coda, and I had a gun, and he had a gun, and I pretend shot him, and he fell down for pretend, and then Ian thought I really shot him, and then he wanted to beat me up because that was his only best friend, and he has a rock, and then he picked up a rock and threw it at my eye when I looked down from talking with him and playing with him.
Oh, okay. And at first, when all this happened, you came home and you were scared and you were a little bit angry and upset and were your feelings hurt?
Yeah, I couldn't open my eye, and I had a black eye, and and all I needed was a hug from Grandpa to get it better.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry you felt like that.
And when I got hit in the eye, I couldn't stop crying for a half an hour, and I then I felt a chunk of rock in there, but then Coda pulled it out for me.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that he took care of it for you. That was nice of him, wasn't it? That was nice of Photo. And then when you talked about it with your mom a little bit more,
And my dad.
and your dad.
My dad gave me an ice pack.
Good. You're just so cute. Um, and then your mom and your dad were trying to figure out what happened, why Ian threw a rock at you, and why you were having a hard time, right? Yeah. Mom and dad do that so that they can help you work on being a better friend and keeping
getting
good
along.
friends.
And getting more along.
Exactly. So, what did they ask you? Did they ask you why Ian might have been mad to throw a rock?
They Coda was gonna tell him like bad Ian, but he couldn't say. He said, oh, he said Ian, blah blah blah. That's what he said because he didn't want to be mean to Ian, so he can be a good friend.
Right.
And Mike said, "Yeah, you don't need to yell at him.
Yeah.
Anytime you make a mistake, go like this, and blah blah blah."
How old is Ian?
4.
Okay, so
he doesn't know better. The first time I met him, was when I was playing in Coda and Addison's backyard, and cause we were playing in his backyard, and then I saw Ian coming along, but I didn't know him, and I asked him what his name was, and he said Ian, and I asked him how old you were, but I didn't know what he said, because I didn't know what he said, because he actually kind of talks weird when he's 4.
Oh, okay, and can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a couple questions? Okay. So you've been good friends with Ian, and maybe you didn't expect this from him? You didn't understand why he threw a rock at you?
No, but the first time we met, when that happened, Coda came home and Addison came home. I mean, no, when they came out. So I think they came home.
Can we talk about today?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was kind of outnumbered. Everybody around him, you guys were playing with guns, and you were just playing, you know better. But you had a gun, and Dakota had a gun, but Ian didn't have any gun, right?
Right, and he was jealous. And
Do you think
then
he was jealous, or do you think
he was jealous.
maybe it was a little bit of jealousy? But what else could it be? If you didn't have a gun and other boys around you had a gun, what would you do to protect yourself? Even if you were just playing.
I would defend myself and I would throw a rock at them if they were trying to hurt me.
Right. And for a 4-year-old, do
And
you
that's
think
how
maybe...
he felt.
Right. Very good. I'm glad that you realized that. So he may have felt like he was the smallest, littlest guy in the bunch, and he was the only one without a weapon. And if you got a little bit rough, maybe he was just trying to defend himself, right?
Once again, I need to tell you a secret.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you understand your friend a little bit better now. Right? Are you gonna take anything from your experience? Are you gonna?
I'm gonna say sorry about Ian and I'm gonna forgive him.
I think you should forgive him.
I'm gonna forgive him for what he did to me. I'm gonna forgive him.
Yeah. Okay, well that sounds good, and maybe you can tell him next time if he wants a weapon that
I'll bring one.
You'll bring one. That's a great idea.
I'll bring 4 this time so Addison and Ian can have one.
Great.
According to me.
Okay. Great.